Hey yo, what's up? It's Kyle here, guys. Want to get my thoughts on Batista's comeback. I made a video a couple of weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks ago, discussing my thoughts of Batista coming back. But now that he's here, officially here, and as we head to the Royal Rumble tomorrow, which by the way I think is going to be looks to be a solid pay-per-view, on paper at least. I want to get my thoughts on it, as well as the Royal Rumble and Royal Rumble pick. So yeah, Batista came back this Monday night on Raw. Finally, after so many years, well, not so many, but about 4 years, the Beast is back, or the Animal is back. I kind of have conflicting emotions, or not, I won't say conflicting, but I have mixed emotions. That's a better word. I have mixed emotions about Batista's return. On one aspect, I'm glad Batista's back because he is he is somebody that they could automatically insert into the main event without taking somebody that's not ready and rushing them straight to the top. He's an already made superstar, so you can easily, there's a lot you can do with him, with Batista. And he does bring in, you can bring in some ratings or whatever, have not. One of the biggest things I appreciate about Batista coming back was that way before he even signed his name on the dotted line and coming back, he said that if he was going to come back to WWE, he didn't want to do, just appear once every few pay-per-views, because he says for him it's not about the money. He does it because he loves it. And I really appreciate, as a wrestling fan, I appreciate Batista's attitude like that, because he's in this for a good full run. 2 full years he's in it. He may take a break sometime during the summer to promote his movie later this year, but I mean, he's in it for 2 full years. They got him locked in for 2 years. So I appreciate Batista for, if he's gonna come back, he's coming back, to be here for a while, not to do 30 days and leave, or come back on the big pay-per-views like other people have done, like Lesnar, Rock, Jericho, RVD, etc. And like, not knocking those guys. They have their reasons for why they want to work part-time, but I'm just saying. So that is one thing as a wrestling fan, I'm appreciative to Batista about, and in him coming back. The one thing that does kind of concern me about Batista being back is that because he's an automatic main eventer, he is already made superstar, it concerns me that WWE, on the other hand, are going to be lazy and would say, hey, we've got Batista. So now that we have Batista, plus John Cena, plus Randy Orton, plus CM Punk, plus, say, even Sheamus, to a degree, even though Sheamus hasn't returned yet, we can kind of slow down a little bit in making new stars, and that scares me a little bit. It scares me that guys like the Big E Langstons, the Shields, even Daniel Bryan, that they may kind of derail their pushes to a degree. That's the one thing that concerns me, and I think WWE are like that. That when they bring in somebody, they're gonna push people that they were pushing up before. They're going to just stop pushing, or at least derail them to a degree. That is my one concern about Batista's presence and him being back in WWE. That's the one negative side to him being in WWE in his 2-year run. And to me, I don't really think people cared that Batista returned. I think when Batista's return got leaked out and WWE were forced to publicize it, I did think that it did kind of dampen a little bit. Other people blamed the wrestling crowd. They said the wrestling crowd sucked. The wrestling crowd, wherever they were, this past Monday night on Raw, was not the worst crowd in the world I've heard. They did some chanting, some cheering. They were dead silent during certain matches, but I don't think the crowd was completely horrible. I've seen worse. And to me, it seemed like they were forcing people, or tried to force people, to chant for Batista. Because if you look at Batista, and also too, a lot of people noted that Batista coming back at the very beginning of the show didn't help matters either. I agree, that didn't work. But the fact that, when you look at Batista, when Batista comes out, they play his music, he walks around the ring, he gets up on the turnbuckle, and he gets up on another turnbuckle, and, the crowd are like, and they zoom out. There are people chanting, there are people that have signs, but nobody is really like, oh my God, the animal is nobody pops for Batista like they popped for Brock Lesnar. You could say that's because maybe wrestling was in a much better position when Brock Lesnar was the top guy, considering than when Batista became a top guy. WWE were, different machines, even though it was only 3 years apart, really, before Batista got his big break compared to when Lesnar had his and he left. But still, it looked like they were kind of forcing a little bit. And there was even one part where Batista he stood up on one turnbuckle and he just stood there and just like, kind of like trying to pander to the crowd. It's like they were trying to force people to be excited over Batista, and a lot of people I just think people just don't care. I think people, not to say that Batista doesn't have his fans. I do think people, there are some people that still do like Batista. I like Batista, but I just think that, these guys that go away for 3 years, 4 years, or whatever, people kind of get used to them not being there anymore. And people just like, okay, let's move on now. Let's move on to somebody else. I just think I think Batista's return, it's like Buffman Stuff said in his video. He said that, he went on online forums and it's kind of split between multiple people in Batista's return. And I say the exact same thing. It is very neutral amongst people. So you got to figure Batista's going to be world champion sometime this year. Which leads on to the next thing, the Royal Rumble winner. Who's going to win the Royal Rumble? Now, before they said Daniel Bryan was going to have had a concussion and that he may have been pulled from the Royal Rumble match itself, but yet he has a one-on-one match with Bray Wyatt. And keep in mind, they only announced 20 people in the Royal Rumble, but the other 10 they've kept secret. So maybe Daniel Bryan may be one of those 10 that they do not mention. A lot of people want Daniel Bryan to win. I think Daniel Bryan is definitely a fan favorite. I think he, CM Punk, and the return of Batista, I think those three are definitely fan favorites. I would like Daniel Bryan to win. The reason why I'm leery if Daniel Bryan wins, or probably would not win, if you guys remember last year when Vince McMahon kind of indirectly blamed the low buy rates for SummerSlam, their second biggest pay-per-view, he indirectly kind of blamed it on Daniel Bryan. So with that being said, because Daniel Bryan is not the Machine's mold or idea of a wrestler, what a superstar should look like, it kind of concerns me and makes me think, if Vince McMahon is saying this about Daniel Bryan and kind of indirectly blaming him for the low buy rates of SummerSlam, which is one of their big three, 9 times out of 10, he sure as hell won't let Daniel Bryan main event, yet alone co-main event, the biggest pay-per-view of the year being WrestleMania, which makes me to believe why Daniel Bryan probably won't win the Royal Rumble. You get in with Batista. Batista win the Rumble. I'll just say this, I think Batista's more of a safe choice than an obvious one. Batista's coming back. He's returned. They're going to give Batista a big push this year, obviously. But Batista won in 2005. To me, I kind of want somebody fresh, somebody new to win the Royal Rumble. We just had John Cena last year who won it twice. Last year. I don't want to see a repeat of another guy winning a second time like somebody else who won the second time the year before him. I want to see somebody fresh, somebody new. CM Punk, he's another guy I would like to see win, but I doubt. I think he may have more of a chance of winning than Daniel Bryan, or at least WWE would give him more of a chance than Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns is a dark horse. They could do something with that. I wouldn't mind it. I think it'd be kind of hot-shotting it just a little bit, because I think Roman Reigns, they need to build as a solo star first throughout the duration of 2014, and from that you build him up to Rumble 2015 and have him win that Royal Rumble. But you know, things can change. You never know. Roman Reigns is definitely a dark horse, or somebody to look out for at least. Somebody, a bright spot, I think, to be in the Rumble match. So these are just my thoughts on Batista's return. What do you guys think about it? Do you think Batista's return was a flop, successful? What are your thoughts on him coming back? Who are your picks for this year's Royal Rumble or the Royal Rumble tomorrow, as a matter of fact? On your thoughts in the box below. Subscribe, comment, peace.